Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Guntur Medical College, Department of Anatomy. In this dissection video, we will see the liver and its feature. The detailed theory part of the liver is given in another video in our channel. In this video, I will explain mainly the practical part. If you are given liver in the first MBBS practical exam, how to keep the liver in the anatomical position and what are the questions you will be asked in the practical exams, that I will more concentrate. The remaining you can see the other video also. So what you are seeing is the liver. It is the largest organ of the body, approximately weighing 1.2 to 1.5 kg in the adult male, and in the females it is slightly less. So it is the largest organ and it is wedge shape. You can see it is wedge shape. This is the broader part of the wedge and this is the narrower part of the wedge. So how to keep the liver in the anatomical position? The broader part of the wedge, you should keep it on the right side, and the upper part, if you see, it will be convexo-concave. So on both sides it will be concave and in the middle it will be slightly depressed. That part you should keep it above, and on the back you will see are you seeing, this is the groove for inferior vena cava. So in this you should put your finger inside like this and you should hold this liver in the right hypochondrium like this, as the liver occupies the right hypochondrium, extending to the epigastrium and to the left hypochondrium. So this is the way to keep the liver in the anatomical position. When I am keeping the liver in the anatomical position, the student should think that how this large liver is kept in the uppermost quadrant of the abdomen. What is the main factor is, are you seeing this inferior vena cava again? In this inferior vena cava, hepatic veins are coming and opening into the inferior vena cava. That is the main support. So as if this inferior vena cava is present in the posterior abdominal wall like this, if I tell. So this is the inferior vena cava in the posterior abdominal wall, and this is the liver. This hepatic veins entering into the inferior vena cava as if the liver is nailed into the inferior vena cava. That is the main support of the liver, and the ligaments of the liver are least important. So now we will come to the surfaces and the features. So the liver has what is this surface? Is the superior surface, and this is the anterior surface, and this is the right surface, and this is the posterior surface. And here like this, if I keep this forceps, below that is the inferior surface, above that is the posterior surface. And the liver has the sharp inferior border. That is the only one border. Other borders are arbitrary. Otherwise, other borders which separates the other surfaces are arbitrary. So we will see the surface one by one. If you see the superior surface, as I have already told, this both sides are concave and it is depressed in the middle. These two parts are related to the above lung and the pleura, and this part, central part is related to the central tendon of the diaphragm. Above the diaphragm, heart is present. That's why this part is depressed in the middle. These two on the sides are related to the lung and the pleural sacs, so they are convex. If you see the right surface, again you have to think as if I am putting my hands like this is related to the diaphragm. So this is again related mainly to the diaphragm, upper superior surface and right surface. They are then leaving this diaphragm. Then what are the relations? If you see, we will have the pleural sac, right lung. So if you see, this 7th to 11th ribs are related here. In the upper 1/3, so I will tell again, this part is related to diaphragm, and outside we are having 7th to 11th ribs. In between this diaphragm and 7th to 11th ribs, in the upper 1/3 it is related to the right lung. In the middle 1/3 it is related to the right pleural sac. If you see in this part, it is not related to lung or pleural sac. Why this is important, I will tell. If you think you are putting injection into the liver to take the needle biopsy, if you put the injection in this upper part, the right side, you may injure the right lung or the right pleural sac. So you have to give that needle in the lower 1/3 on the right surface to take the needle biopsy of the liver. That's why you should know the relations of this right surface. If you see this, anterior surface. So this is the anterior surface having the falciform ligament attachment in the middle. This is, if you see this, we can divide this into relations, two parts, right and left, 6th to 10th costal cartilages. So only it is related to 6th to 10th costal 6th to 10th ribs, and here it is related to 7th and 8th costal cartilages. So that is the relation of the anterior surface. Now I will see the posterior surface. Posterior surface, you can see here we are having the bare, I will tell from right to left, bare area. So this is the bare area of the liver. This is the fissure for inferior vena cava, caudate lobe, fissure for ligamentum venosum, and this is the esophageal impression. So 5 we can tell posterior surface 5, bare area of the liver, fissure for inferior vena cava, then the caudate lobe, fissure for ligamentum venosum, and here it is related to the abdominal part of the esophagus. What is this bare area is not covered by the peritoneum. You can see it's rough surface on this bare area. If you see the boundaries of the bare area, above and below superior and inferior layers of the coronary ligament, on the right side right triangular ligament, on the left side groove for inferior vena cava. This part is related to the right suprarenal gland. This is the fissure for or groove for inferior vena cava, which enlarges the inferior vena cava. As I was telling already, hepatic veins directly open into this. So we have the hepatic veins arranged as upper and lower veins. And this is the caudate lobe. Caudate lobe bounded on the right side by the groove for inferior vena cava, on the left side by the fissure for ligamentum venosum. The students should remember this is the only part of the liver covered by the lesser sac peritoneum. And this is the fissure for ligamentum venosum, which enlarges the ligamentum venosum. What you are having here is the ligamentum venosum. What is ligamentum venosum? It is the remnant of the ductus venosus. What is ductus venosus? Ductus venosus connects left branch of the portal vein and the inferior vena cava in the fetal life, which is obliterated. So it is now ligamentum venosum. And this part is related to the abdominal part of the esophagus. So we have covered the posterior surface, five relations we have got. Now we will see the inferior surface. Inferior surface, we have to tell 10 points from left to right. I will start from left to right. First point, this is the gastric impression. You should have learned anterosuperior surface is related to the liver. This part is related to the anterosuperior surface of the liver, and this is the tuber omentale. So this tuber omentale of the liver, again you will be learning the tuber omentale of the pancreas. So the students should not get confused. There are two tuber omentale in the liver and pancreas, but in the living they are separated by the cavity of the lesser sac. So this is the projection or prominence in the upper part of the gastric impression that will be called as tuber omentale of the liver. Now next to that, so here in this liver we are not having that one more lobe will be present. The liver may have the morphological variations. So here we will be having the quadrate lobe. The quadrate lobe and fissure for ligamentum teres. So this is the place of the quadrate lobe. Quadrate lobe is related to the second part of the duodenum. And in this we also, yes, this is the fissure for ligamentum teres. So this fissure for ligamentum teres enlarges the obliterated left umbilical vein or the ligamentum teres. Ligamentum teres is the obliterated left umbilical vein. Next to that we are having this fossa for gallbladder. So this is the fossa for gallbladder. So which enlarges the gallbladder. Gallbladder will have the three parts. Fundus, which projects below the inferior border, will be called as fundus, body, and the tip of the gallbladder. The tip of the gallbladder will continue as the cystic duct that you will learn in the extrahepatic biliary apparatus. The next point here is this porta hepatis. Porta means entry to the liver. So, but it is not the correct. Even some structures we have learned now only, the hepatic veins do not enter the porta hepatis. So, what are the structures entering the porta hepatis? We should tell in the order from front to back. Front to back we have the ducts. What ducts? Right and left hepatic duct, then artery, right and left hepatic artery, then right and left branches of the portal vein from front to back. That is the order. So we have covered first gastric impression, Second, tuberomen tail. Third, quadrate lobe. Fissure for ligamentum teres 4. Fossa for gallbladder 5. Porta hepatis 6. Again one more I will tell. So we have learnt already, this is the caudate lobe. Caudate lobe extends in the lower part as two processes are you seeing. So right side it will be called as caudate process and left side it will be called as the papillary process. Caudate process where you have learnt already, that is the upper boundary of the epiploic foramen, and papillary process, if you recollect, it will be related to the origin of the celiac trunk. So caudate process, papillary process. Now 3 impressions on the right lobe of the liver we have to learn. Opposite to the neck of the gallbladder, this part is related to the first part of the duodenum. Opposite to this body of the gallbladder, this is the right colic flexure, that is the related to the junction of the ascending colon and the transverse colon. This flexure is otherwise called as the hepatic flexure. Then opposite to the then out of the duodenal impression, this part is related to the anterior surface of the right kidney. So now you can understand, this is right kidney, bare area is related to right suprarenal. That's how the organs will be situated. So we have already told one more, that is the hepatorenal pouch, that is extending between this part of the right lobe of the liver, and this is what we told here is the right anterior surface of the right kidney, separated by the hepatorenal pouch. So we have covered 10 points in the inferior surface: gastric impression, tuberomen tail, porta hepatis, caudate and papillary process, quadrate lobe which is not present in this specimen, fissure for ligamentum teres, fossa for gallbladder, then duodenal impression, colic impression and the renal impression. So we have covered the inferior surface also. With one more point I will complete this dissection video. What is anatomical right lobe and left lobe? Anatomical right lobe is this falciform ligament division. So that is how this is anatomical right lobe and this is anatomical left lobe. If you see the physiological or surgical right lobe and left lobe, you have to draw one imaginary line passing through the gallbladder and the inferior vena cava. Then that is called as cholecystovena caval line. So the right to this line is right lobe and left to this line is the left lobe. That is the according to the branches of the hepatic artery and the divisions of the portal vein. They are called as physiological right lobe and surgical right and left lobes. I hope you should have understood this important viscera in detail I have covered in this video. With the next dissection topic we will see in the next video. Thank you.